Damn it, the zipper's stuck again. I tugged at the satin zipper on the back of my wedding dress, my fingers rubbed raw. Lottie turned around from the vanity, holding the pearl headband I was going to wear tomorrow in her hand. Her tone was laced with casual impatience. Alice, don't rush. The makeup artist will take care of it tomorrow morning. What are you fooling around for now? I didn't turn around, staring at myself in the wedding dress in the mirror, a faint smile still lingering on my lips. I just want to try it on again. After all, it's something I'll only wear once in my life. Tomorrow, I was going to marry Sylvain. We'd been together for 3 years. He was the kindest man I'd ever met. He remembered I didn't eat cilantro. He'd bring me hot coffee and wait downstairs at the office when I worked overtime. Even my mom said I was incredibly lucky to have met Sylvain. Lottie was my assistant and my best friend. Over these 3 years, she'd helped me so much with both work and life, and she'd handled almost all the details of this wedding. What's the point of trying it on again? Sylvain won't stop loving you just because the zipper's stuck. Lottie walked over and pulled the zipper for me, using more force than I had. There, see? All fixed. A sharp, pulling pain shot through my back, and I couldn't help but hiss, "Be gentle. This fabric is delicate." Fine, fine, Your Highness," Lottie rolled her eyes, then picked up the jewelry box on the table. "You must have spent a fortune on this diamond ring, Sylvain. And this necklace, it's a family heirloom from your grandfather, right? I heard it's worth 7 figures. Don't touch that," I reached out to stop her. "It's Grandpa's. I'm going to wear it when I get married tomorrow." But Lottie deliberately held the jewelry box up high, laughing. "Can't I even take a look?" "Alice, you're getting more and more petty. Though I guess it doesn't matter, sooner or later, all this will be Sylvain's anyway." I frowned, feeling that her words were a bit odd today, but I didn't think too deeply about it, figured she was just tired from running around with the wedding preparations. "What's his is mine and mine is his," I said with a smile, reaching for the wedding dress skirt. "I'm going to hang this upstairs so it doesn't get wrinkled tomorrow." The stairs were spiral, covered with thick carpet. Usually, even walking fast was fine. But today, in this wedding dress with its big, heavy skirt, I had to be extra careful. Lottie called from downstairs, "Do you need help?" "No, I got it," I waved back at her. But suddenly, my foot slipped. The skirt of the wedding dress was caught on something, and I lost my balance instantly. The back of my head hit the marble corner of the stairs with a heavy thud. Searing pain shot through my body instantly. I could even hear the sound of bones breaking. My vision blurred, my body felt as heavy as lead, and I crashed down the steps. The wedding dress skirt spread out around me like a broken white rose. "Alice." Lottie's voice sounded far away, tinged with a hint of panic. I tried to respond, but no sound came out. My consciousness faded little by little, until I was plunged into complete darkness. I had no idea how long I was unconscious. It was like falling into an endless black hole. I had no sensation in my body, as if it wasn't my own, but my ears were unusually sharp, picking up every sound around me. "How is she? What did the doctor say?" It was Sylvain's voice, cold and calm, nothing like the gentle tone I was used to, not a trace of worry in it. "High paraplegia. She'll never walk again," Lottie's voice came, and I could hear a hint of glee in it. "The doctor said she's still unconscious. No one knows if she'll ever wake up. Even if she does, she'll be a useless cripple." My heart sank to the bottom instantly. High paraplegia. A useless cripple? Those words cut into my heart like sharp knives. I wanted to struggle, to confront them, but my body wouldn't move. I could only lie there, forced to listen to their conversation. "Perfect," Sylvain's voice was filled with excitement. "Now all her money will be ours." "Don't be in such a hurry," Lottie said. "She's not awake yet. What if she wakes up?" "So what if she wakes up?" Sylvain scoffed. A cripple who can't even take care of herself, how is she going to stop us? I've already checked. She owns 3 properties, a trust fund left by her grandfather, and shares in her company. Conservatively estimated, that's tens of millions. As long as she signs the papers, it's all ours. But what if she refuses to sign? Refuse? Sylvain's voice turned vicious. Then we'll make her sign. She's in no position to fight back now, we have plenty of ways to make her comply. If all else fails, we can bribe a doctor to give her drugs, make her sleep forever. Then, when the legal inheritance period comes, as her husband, I'll inherit everything naturally. Husband? I almost forgot, tomorrow was our wedding day. But here I was, on the brink of death, while my fiancé and my best friend plotted to steal my fortune, even plotting to keep me from ever waking up. You've had this planned all along, haven't you? Lottie's voice sounded coquettish. From the moment you approached her, it was all for her money. What else? Sylvain chuckled. Did you think I actually liked her? A stiff, boring woman who has nothing going for her but money. If it weren't for her fortune, I would have left a long time ago. And you, Lottie, none of this would have been possible without you helping me from the inside. Of course, Lottie said triumphantly. I've worked for her for 3 years, and I'm sick of seeing her act so high and mighty. Why does she get to be born with a silver spoon in her mouth while I have to slave away for her? I deserve a piece of what's hers. By the way, I've had my eye on that pearl necklace of hers for ages. Once this is over, you can't take it from me. Don't worry, it's just a necklace, I'll give it to you, Sylvain said. As long as we get our hands on her money, I'll even give you one of her houses, let alone a necklace. And we need to transfer her company shares to our names as soon as possible, before anything goes wrong. I've already contacted a lawyer. As soon as she signs, the paperwork will be done in no time, Lottie said. But what if she never wakes up? We can't wait forever. Then we'll wait for her parents, Sylvain said. She's their only daughter, they can't bear to see her like this forever. We'll talk them into signing on her behalf. A little bribe, and they'll definitely agree. You're so smart, Lottie laughed. By the way, what about tomorrow's wedding? Are we still having it? Of course we are, Sylvain's voice had a sinister edge to it. Though the bride might be someone else. Once we wrap up Alice's business, I'll marry you. We'll use her money to throw an even bigger wedding than she ever planned. How does that sound? Yes. I knew you loved me the most, Lottie's voice was brimming with joy. Their conversation went on, talking about how to divide my money, how to deceive my parents, how to live their happy life together. Every word hit me like a hammer. The love I thought I had, the friendship I cherished, they were all just an elaborate scam. I thought back to Sylvain's usual tenderness, how he took care of me when I was sick, how he proposed to me with such sincere words. All those moments that had moved me so much, now they felt like lies. Every look, every word, was just to gain my trust, to get his hands on my money. And Lottie, I'd treated her like a sister, trusted her completely, handed over important company matters to her, even told her all my secrets. But what did she do? She stabbed me in the back, colluding with my fiancé to kill me. Tears streamed silently from the corners of my eyes, soaking the pillow. The physical pain was nothing compared to the agony in my heart. I hated them, hated their hypocrisy, their greed, their cruelty. After a long while, their voices faded away. I could hear the nurse walking in, the beeping of the medical equipment. My consciousness started to blur again, but I told myself, don't sleep, you mustn't sleep. I had to wake up, expose their plot, make them pay for what they'd done. I tried so hard to open my eyes, to move a finger, but my body was as stiff as a board. I could only repeat silently in my heart, Alice, don't give up. You have to wake up. After what felt like an eternity, I felt someone stroke my forehead. It was my mom's voice, choked with sobs. Alice, my baby, wake up. Mom's here to see you. And me, Alice, my dad's voice came, equally grief-stricken. Don't scare us. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. Seeing my parents made my heart ache even more. I couldn't let Sylvain and Lottie deceive them, couldn't let them get hurt because of me. Summoning all my strength, I finally managed to let out a faint whisper, Mom. Dad. Alice. You're awake. Mom cried out in joy, quickly pressing the call button by the bed. Doctor. Doctor. My daughter's awake. The doctor arrived soon and ran a series of tests. The patient is awake and her condition is stable for now, the doctor told my parents. However, her high paraplegia is confirmed. She has no sensation in her lower body and will need long-term rehabilitation treatment. When my parents heard this, they cried even harder. Looking at their haggard faces, I was filled with guilt. If I hadn't been so naive, so easy to trust people, I wouldn't have ended up like this, wouldn't have made them worry so much. Sylvain and Lottie arrived shortly after. When they saw I was awake, Sylvain rushed to my bed, his face filled with worry. Alice, you're finally awake. You scared me to death. How do you feel? Is anything hurting? Lottie stood beside him, wiping her eyes, pretending to be sad. Alice, I'm so glad you're awake. We were so worried about you. The doctor said you might never walk again, but it's okay, we'll take care of you forever. Looking at their fake faces, I wanted to expose them right then and there. But I knew it wasn't the time. I had no proof, and in my current state, I was no match for them. I had to hold back my hatred, pretending to be weak, and nodded slightly. Don't worry, Alice, Sylvain held my hand, his eyes filled with sincerity. Even if you can't walk for the rest of your life, I'll still marry you. I'll take care of you forever. The wedding will go ahead as planned tomorrow. My parents were deeply moved by his words, thanking him repeatedly. Little did they know, Sylvain was only saying this to gain their trust, to get his hands on my money smoothly. I looked at Sylvain, then spoke slowly, my voice weak but clear, call off the wedding. Sylvain's face changed instantly, a flash of panic in his eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. Alice, don't be silly. I know you're in a bad mood right now. We'll talk about the wedding when you feel better. I don't want to marry you anymore, I said, every word clear and firm, staring straight at him. I see you for who you really are, Sylvain. Sylvain's face darkened completely. He hadn't expected me to say that. Lottie panicked too, rushing to smooth things over. Alice, you must still be groggy from just waking up. Sylvain loves you so much, how could you say that? I'm perfectly clear, I sneered. I heard every word you said while I was unconscious, talking about dividing my money, keeping me from waking up, deceiving my parents. Sylvain, you never loved me. You only approached me for my money. And Lottie, I treated you like my best friend, but you betrayed me, colluding with him. You two are disgusting lowlifes. My words exploded like a bomb in the hospital room. My parents were stunned, unable to believe their ears. Sylvain and Lottie turned pale, avoiding eye contact. They couldn't keep up their pretense anymore. Why? You heard everything? Sylvain's voice trembled, filled with fear. What do you think? I looked at them. Did you really think I was oblivious just because I was unconscious? I'm telling you, your plot won't succeed. You'll get nothing of my money, my company, or anything my grandfather left me. Alice, don't be impulsive, Lottie tried to defend herself. We didn't mean it, we were just confused for a moment. Confused for a moment? I cut her off. Was plotting to keep me asleep forever also a moment of confusion? Have you no conscience at all? My parents finally came to their senses. Dad was so angry his whole body shook, pointing at Sylvain and Lottie. You two liars. What did Alice ever do to you to deserve this? Mom cried too. We trusted you so much, Sylvain. We gave Alice to you, hoping you'd take good care of her, but you tried to kill her. Lottie, Alice treated you like a sister, how could you betray her? Sylvain knew he was caught, and he dropped his act completely. He glared at me viciously. Alice, don't think waking up means anything. You're just a cripple now. Even if you expose us, what can you do? Do you think anyone will help you? Whether I have help or not isn't up to you, I said coldly. I've already called my lawyer. He'll be here any minute. I recorded every word you just said. That's more than enough evidence to put you in jail. In truth, I hadn't recorded anything, but I had to say it to intimidate them. Sure enough, Sylvain and Lottie panicked even more, their faces turning ashen. They hadn't expected me to think of a plan so quickly. Just then, the hospital room door opened, and my lawyer walked in. Seeing him, Sylvain and Lottie fell into complete despair. The lawyer walked up to my bed and nodded. Miss Alice, I'm here. As you instructed, I've gathered some evidence and contacted the police. It turned out that before I woke up, when the nurse came in to change my dressing, I had signaled to her with my eyes to call my lawyer. She was kind and immediately made the call for me. The police arrived soon after, taking Sylvain and Lottie away. As they left, they glared at me hatefully, their eyes filled with resentment. But I wasn't afraid at all, because I knew that justice would always prevail over evil. The hospital room finally fell quiet. My parents sat by my bed, holding my hand tightly, comforting me constantly. Looking at them, tears streamed down my face again. This time, they weren't tears of sorrow, they were tears of gratitude. Though I had lost my health, my so-called love, and my friendship, I still had my parents who loved me and friends who cared about me. I knew the road ahead would be tough, paralysis would be with me for the rest of my life. But I wouldn't give up. I would work hard at rehabilitation, and work hard to live. I would run my company well, guard what my grandfather had left me, and not let those with ill intentions succeed. I believed that as long as I didn't give up, I would eventually climb out of this abyss and see the light that belonged to me. The accident the night before my wedding had pushed me to the bottom, but it had also made me see the people around me clearly. Though the process was painful, I had no regrets. Because I knew that through this ordeal, I had become stronger and more mature. From now on, I would live for myself, and become the person I wanted to be. In the end, Sylvain and Lottie couldn't escape the law. The police not only found partial recordings of their plot, the nurse, fearing for my safety, had secretly recorded their argument outside the hospital room later, but my lawyer also traced and uncovered that Lottie had long been embezzling small amounts of money from my company, and Sylvain had even forged my signature in an attempt to access the trust fund in advance. In court, they shifted blame onto each other and accused one another. All the affection and harmony they'd once pretended to have was gone. In the end, they were convicted of intentional harm. The police determined that Lottie had failed to provide timely assistance and had even indirectly contributed to my fall, and attempted fraud, among other charges. Sylvain was sentenced to 8 years in prison, and Lottie to 6. All the assets they had coveted were frozen by the court and returned to me. As for me, the road to recovery was indeed long and arduous. In the first few months, I couldn't even turn over on my own. I was often woken up by phantom pains in my paralyzed lower body at night, and there were times when I broke down and cried. But every time I saw my parents' red, tired eyes, or thought of the friends who truly cared about me, I told myself I couldn't give up. I hired the best rehabilitation therapist, stuck to physical therapy every day, starting with lifting my fingers and turning my wrists, gradually building up my upper body strength, and learning to live with assistive devices. Now, I can maneuver my wheelchair skillfully, and I can even drive myself around. I returned to my company, sorted out all the business that Lottie had messed up, and even launched a new public welfare project, providing job training and entrepreneurship support specifically for people with disabilities. Seeing those who had suffered similar misfortunes find a new direction in life with my help, I suddenly realized that this accident might have been another kind of gift from fate. It had stripped away my naivety, taught me to see people clearly, and helped me find something more meaningful than managing wealth. Now, I no longer dwell on the pain of the past. On sunny days, I push my wheelchair to the garden to soak up the sun, watching children run and play. After work, I learn to paint and practice yoga, living a full and comfortable life. I still believe in love, but I'm in no hurry. I still value friendship, but I've learned to be more cautious. Paraplegia may have limited my ability to walk, but it has never confined my heart's desire to pursue beauty. I know that as long as I hold on to hope and face the sun, I can live a wonderful life no matter what circumstances I'm in.